Ms. Blankenship.
On the last sentence, on C, the resolution C, it says that it asks for it to be designated as a felony. And the reason for C, I talked with Tony Shipley, who is the author of the bill in Nashville, and asked him what would be the strongest thing that this commission could send to Nashville to let them know that we don't want this in our community and that we wanted it to be considered as a felon. And he said if we would mimic as close to what Kingsport and Sullivan County has passed, that would be a step forward for him and for his push to get something passed in Nashville. So that's why we have C.
Well, if we just need to vote for both of them,
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. I reviewed both resolutions. The first one I had sent to Attorney Barrett early on, asking that we have our representatives in Nashville address this from a felony standpoint. My concern with the other resolution is it specifically states, or the intent, correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Barrett, that the intent of this is to ask the municipalities within the county create ordinances, which would be the city of Watauga and the city of Elizabeth. What good does that do the rest of the county? So I can understand this Blankenship conversation there, but this thing would be protecting only the people within those municipalities, provided they go ahead and create the ordinances. And I think this is something that needs to be done on the state level, in our legislature, and it does need to be made a law on the books such that it is a felony and these people can be punished and sent to jail. Chief, do you have any thoughts on that or not?
Certainly, if the one goes, if they exclude it in the cities, all it's going to do is drive them in the county. It's going to force them into county operations somewhere in our jurisdiction. We certainly don't want that. And what we're seeing with it, something needs to be done quickly. It's affecting us all the way up to our jail right now. Enforcement and situations we're having to deal with in the jails.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Bowers.
Resolution E, Mayor has it pretty early in the game. Mr. Carroll, on his behalf, reviewed and put on the agenda. It is requesting the state legislature to make the sales of drugs a felony, also making a more blanket statement where the initial statute attacking ingredients, this attacks the, for lack of a better term, result, the feeling that when it pertains to different drugs, trying to incorporate all the different chemical compounds that we use to make this. Perfectly frankly, the drug dealers are faster than the legislature. They always will be, always have been, they're always chasing. The second legislation, the second piece, the second resolution also requests that we be made felon in the last subsection. It goes on though to just compliment Kingsport on what they've done as far as city ordinance and asking the additional city in our county to look at this, because cities have some ordinance powers that counties don't have to make something illegal. It's certainly not private for county, and I'll be frank with you, you can pass one vote or either. I don't believe that there's a huge synthetic drug lobby in the state legislature. I think this can be taken care of with the vote. I haven't talked to a single state representative who's opposed to making synthetic drugs not only illegal, all the different compounds, but also a felony. So it's up to this commission. Having approved both doesn't hurt you. If you pick one you like the best, that's fine too. I think it only helps our representative, our senator, to send something. The movement is certainly afoot. This is going to happen this session. It's all right. It's not going to take long, and I think you'll first you'll see along with us.
It certainly would not hurt to approve both of them.
I think they're both cool.
If we accept both of these today, do we have any higher the law enforcement started acting this now?
No, counties operate under general law, and we can't make it the same.
Can't make it a nuisance.
If you're going to go through anything, potentially, the other thing I think a county could really do, if you're going to try to do something immediately, and I don't think you get it done by July, so I have to tell you that I think it's a good idea, but you could potentially make it a zoning regulation on how or where you can sell these type of things. You could zone them out of your county, essentially. And have them go through the permit process. That's one thing I thought was a creative way to get rid of it, zone them out of the county. You can zone out adult establishments, you certainly go zone out drug sales. But I think by the time we get through that, this is March, by the time we do the proper hearings, go through the planning, and come back up here, we're going to be in June, you're going to spend $1,000 for getting drafted up, get it done. I think the state legislature will take care of it on July 1st for you, without spending another penny county.
I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we accept both of these resolutions.
Second. Motion by Mr. Trivett, second by Mr. Orange, to accept both resolutions. Any discussion, Mr. Chairman?
Yes. I think we have to accept both of them because really I think this is a statewide effort from Mountain City to Memphis to rid our state of these drugs. I was appalled I thought we only had one place in this county that did sold these, and well, that was in the city, but I've learned in the last several weeks that we have several businesses in the county that are selling these illegal drugs, or synthetic drugs. Now what worries me, and I will address the chief, and I see Chief Bailey back here, is we have, this will go back to the time, I guess, before we ever sold beer in Carter County. You've got businesses in this county that do not have a business license. Some of them are located in our district that are selling those under the table. And they are within a half mile of our schools. So I would ask that if we pass this, that we make an effort to stop the businesses from selling it, but we also make an effort to make these businesses that do not have a license, and when I say that, I'm saying these businesses, that these people that go up here and rent a building beside the highway and use it as a what's so-called yard sale. But at the same time, they're selling cars, they're buying gold, they're buying merchandise from individuals that we don't know where it comes from. And yet they get by with it because they do not have a business license. They take this garage sale route to get away from that. They pay high dollar rent on these buildings. But yet the activity that goes on around is of concern to me and my community. So it's not just a business on Bridal Street or a business over here across the bridge. We've got a big problem in this county, and what we'll do, these people will go across state lines. They'll go to South Carolina, where it's legal right now. They'll pick these things up. They'll bring them back up here, and they'll sell it for 3 times, 4 times what it's selling for right now. And that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned we can stop it, but we've got to be aware that there's going to be sales going on under the table. And I would like to address Chief Bailey. That is a big concern of mine. Our young people. Right now, I think this is a problem against our young people right now. High schools, and we've seen what happened in Washington County. Now, I was at the hospital 4 weeks ago. They took my mother-in-law to the hospital. They brought a young lady into the emergency room. There was 4 officers holding her down from bath salts. Now we've got a problem. It's escalating. We better take care of it. And if it means passing both of these at the same time to do it, let's do it. But let's watch out for the sales of it in these so-called places that are not businesses that don't have a license.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chambers. Your points are well taken, and I'm sure Chief Street, Sheriff Mathis, Chief Bailey, and all other law enforcement agencies are well aware of the potential for this, what it is, and I know it will be legislated illegal, and well, it should be. But as this is a problem that is as old as time began, there will always be black market, bootleg, under the table, whatever you want to call it. And our law enforcement, city, county, state, federal, needs to be ever vigilant in their efforts to bring these individuals who bring this poison to our young people to a halt and dealt with in a harsh and severe way. I'm not sure which one of you gentlemen was up first, but go ahead, Mr. Lawrence, and I'll get to you.
One of the things that's most disturbing about this is I talked to the sheriff, I talked to Chief Bailey over here, I talked to our representatives, Kent Williams, and one of the things that's really disturbing about this, any kid, whether they're 5 years old, 10 years old, can walk in a place and get this. And I do believe that we do need to pass both these. Yes, I do believe it needs to be made a felony. You can buy this stuff over the internet, you know, and it's going to be hard to stop. They're going to have to stop it this state. They're going to have to make it a felony. I would call on my friends in the city, and after talking to Kent Williams, he said that the more people that would get involved in this, and the more people that would come up with resolutions and speak out against this, the quicker they could get it done in Nashville. And that's where it has to be. It has to go to Nashville to be done. And I would call on my friends in the city to pass a resolution like we do, and let's put an end to this. And I did see a couple young men, and they was very much opposed to doing anything about this synthetic drug. Said that we were infringing on their personal liberties. Well, I do believe in personal liberties. But you think about this. Personal liberties. We can't let people kill themselves and destroy their lives, and destroy their families, and destroy their futures in the name of personal liberties. Folks, this stuff is dangerous. I think this stuff is just as dangerous, if not more, than the real drugs themselves. And we need to do all that we can possibly do, whether it's pass 15 resolutions, whatever it takes to put a stop to this. Let's stick together on this, and let's move forward, and let's end it. We don't need this in Carter County.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lewis.
Mr. Byers, can we, as a county body, and if the city go along with us, can we pass a law ordinance that make these things, can't sell inside Carter County, make it illegal?
I think the city would have a little more authority to do something like that than the county would. I think our best resolution would be to zone the areas you can sell, eliminate them through civil procedures. I would like to look at that for you next time. I won't spend a lot of time. I'll spend just a few minutes and see if the other counties intended to just give you a report. I'll try to call you individually with me as well.
Well, I mean, it looks to me like that, some of these other cities have passed ordinance against selling. I think Kingsville did. One of them did.
The city is different, to be honest.
That we can't go ahead and stop some kind of ordinance keeping,
Question.
Ms. Blankenship.
When I talked to Kent Williams, he said that it seemed to be more prevalent here in East Tennessee than in the western part, and that's why they need us to unite here in East Tennessee to send our resolutions to them to get more support, because
our legislators from the western part of the state and also law enforcement, and they said it is moving westward. We have a motion, a question on the motion. And the motion is to approve both of these resolutions.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayor.
let me add just one thing to that. You can labor these all day. General Assembly's already in session, Attorney Bowers, well, in play with the work, I have spoken with all of the people in Nashville, with Lundberg, Shipley, all the others who represent this matter. This is just sending out a request to them to take action and to try to incorporate it in the statute. So irrespective, I think time is of the essence. Items such as this, where time permits and the schedule will allow, needs to be at the General Assembly before they ever convene or shortly thereafter. Here's March, where we know that their business is going to be finished and we will have lost.
It will not hurt to step well back before that. So, we have any more discussion? We have a question on the motion. Go ahead and call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Peters.
Aye.
Keith Ritchie. Nancy Brown. Willis Green. Richard Winters.
Aye.
Ronnie Crivitt.
Aye.
Harry Seas.
Aye.
Tom Fontaine.
Aye.
Jason Texas.
Aye.
Steve Ray.
Aye.
Tom Allen.
Aye.
Joanne Lichtenstein. Carl Bailey.
Aye.
Steve Ray.
Aye.
Ben Arden.
Aye.
Steve Chambers.
Aye.
Don Lee.
Aye.
Sonia Gray.